In a move that has sent shockwaves through global markets and stunned world leaders, the U.S. government has announced the immediate suspension of all operations at the Panama Canal, effective without warning. This is not a temporary glitch or a minor disruption. It's a deliberate, indefinite closure, with officials citing grave and urgent national security concerns as the driving force behind this unprecedented action. The world's most critical maritime shortcut is now completely off-limits, leaving ships carrying vital goods stranded at sea and global supply chains thrown into utter chaos. Ports are overwhelmed, and businesses worldwide are scrambling to respond. For decades, the Panama Canal has been regarded as an unbreakable link in the world's economic system, a symbol of reliability and global cooperation. Today, that certainty has vanished, replaced by anxiety and confusion. The closure is more than just a logistical nightmare. It's a direct challenge to the stability and resilience of global commerce, threatening to disrupt industries from manufacturing to retail. Intelligence reports had warned of sophisticated cyber intrusions targeting the canal's critical infrastructure, raising fears of sabotage or hostile takeover. The U.S., responsible for the canal's security under long-standing international treaties, has now acted decisively on those warnings, deploying additional resources to the region. The White House cited a clear and present danger from state-sponsored actors attempting to seize control of the canal's lock systems, emphasizing the potential for catastrophic consequences if left unchecked. Officials argue that this drastic and controversial step was absolutely necessary to prevent a far greater catastrophe, even as critics question the long-term impact. The closure now forces a costly and complex reevaluation of global shipping routes, with the World Trade Organization estimating billions in losses for each week the canal remains shut, and insurance rates soaring. As ships are forced to reroute around South America's treacherous Cape Horn, the global economy braces for a ripple effect that could last for months, if not years. The world is left wondering not just when the canal will reopen, but how this crisis will permanently reshape the future of international trade and economic stability. The stakes have never been higher, and the world watches anxiously as history unfolds. The Panama Canal is more than just a waterway. It's the backbone of global trade, a crucial link that connects the world's economies. Since 1914, it's slashed weeks off shipping times between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, making it indispensable for world commerce and a key player in international logistics. 6% of global trade, over 14,000 ship transits a year, pass through its locks, underscoring its importance in the global supply chain. For the U.S., it's a lifeline. Nearly 40% of container traffic and most agricultural exports to Asia depend on it, highlighting its strategic significance. The 2016 expansion allowed massive Neo-Panamax ships to pass, tripling cargo capacity and cementing the canal's role as a global choke point, vital for modern trade. Its sudden closure disrupts the supply chain for countless businesses and consumers worldwide, causing ripple effects across industries. The canal's complex system of locks and reliance on fresh water make it both an engineering marvel and a point of vulnerability, susceptible to various challenges. Any disruption, natural or man-made, can have immediate, catastrophic consequences, affecting economies on a global scale. The world is now learning just how fragile this vital artery truly is, as it stands as a testament to both human ingenuity and vulnerability. The closure is a stark reminder. Global trade depends on a few critical links, and the Panama Canal is one of the most crucial. When one breaks, the effects are felt everywhere, from store shelves to manufacturing plants. The lesson is harsh, but unmistakable. Our interconnected world relies on these vital arteries to function smoothly. The U.S. didn't close the canal lightly. This was a decision weighed with immense gravity, given the canal's vital role in global trade and the livelihoods it supports worldwide. A wave of escalating cyber attacks, traced to a state-sponsored group called Coil, targeted the canal's control systems, probing for weaknesses and exploiting vulnerabilities that had never been tested before. The tipping point came when hackers nearly seized the Gatun Lock's spillway gates, threatening catastrophic flooding and a months-long shutdown that would have rippled across continents. Invoking treaty rights, the U.S. intervened, suspending operations to neutralize the threat and prevent disaster, acting swiftly to protect both the canal and international interests. A joint U.S.-Panamanian cyber task force is now racing against time to purge malicious code and secure the canal's digital infrastructure, working around the clock to restore safety. No timeline for reopening has been given. The canal will stay closed until its security is guaranteed, leaving hundreds of ships stranded and global supply chains in limbo. This event marks a new era in hybrid warfare, where cyber attacks on global infrastructure can paralyze trade, disrupt economies, and reshape the balance of power. The U.S. action signals it's willing to absorb economic pain to protect strategic interests, sending a clear message to adversaries and allies alike. Global markets are reeling from the uncertainty, with investors scrambling to assess the long-term impact and businesses bracing for further shocks. The world is now caught in the crossfire of a high-stakes digital conflict as leaders scramble to respond and prevent similar attacks elsewhere. The rules of global commerce have changed overnight, forcing nations and corporations to rethink their strategies and vulnerabilities. The threat is no longer just physical, it's digital, and it's here, evolving faster than most can prepare for. The consequences are only beginning to unfold, and the world watches anxiously as the next chapter in this crisis is written. The immediate result? Chaos at sea. Over 200 ships are now stranded at the canal's entrances, carrying everything from LNG to cars and electronics. Each day of delay costs nearly $10 billion in goods, with shipping stocks plunging and major lines rerouting fleets. Rerouting around Cape Horn adds weeks and millions in fuel costs, disrupting just-in-time manufacturing and retail inventories. Energy markets are hit hard. U.S. LNG exports to Asia now face long, costly detours, driving up prices. The Suez Canal, already near capacity, can't absorb the overflow. Land-based U.S. routes are more expensive and lack the capacity for this sudden surge. The world's shipping network has lost its primary shock absorber. The entire system is straining under the pressure. The ripple effects are global, immediate, and severe. The gridlock is only getting worse. The fallout isn't equal. Some regions and industries are hit harder than others. The U.S. East and Gulf coasts face empty shelves and rising prices as holiday goods and exports are delayed. Retailers like Walmart and Target must choose between absorbing shipping costs or passing them to consumers. In Asia, manufacturers scramble as supply chains break down, with car makers like Toyota and Honda seeking alternatives. South American exporters of perishables face devastating losses. A 3-week detour is impossible for fresh produce. Brazil and Argentina may see short-term port surges, but their Asia trade suffers. The energy sector is upended. U.S. LNG loses its competitive edge, and Asian buyers may turn to Qatar or Australia. This shift could reshape global energy flows and alliances for years. The crisis is redrawing the map of global trade in real time. The pressure is relentless and growing. The Panama Canal has faced disruptions before, but never like this. The 2021 Suez Canal blockage showed how a single choke point can paralyze global trade. Yet that lasted just 6 days. Today's crisis is deliberate, indefinite, and digital. The 1956 Suez Crisis proved that control over waterways is a powerful geopolitical tool. Now, cyber warfare, not ships or armies, has weaponized the canal. Clearing a grounded vessel is hard. Purging a hostile hacker is far harder. Past lessons offer little comfort in this new era. The threat is unprecedented, and the solution uncertain. Official statements reflect the gravity of the crisis. The U.S. and Panama stress their joint commitment to canal security, calling the shutdown a necessary defense. China and Russia condemn the move, calling it reckless and destabilizing. Experts agree. If the cyber threat is real, this is one of the most audacious attacks ever attempted. The U.S. faced a nightmare scenario, choosing a costly shutdown over catastrophic failure. Economists warn removing the canal is like inducing a heart attack in the global supply chain. Expect inflation, manufacturing disruptions, and a possible rethinking of global sourcing if the closure drags on. The long-term costs could be staggering. The world is watching and bracing. Beyond the headlines, the human cost is mounting. Tens of thousands of seafarers are stranded at sea, facing extended voyages and growing uncertainty. On land, port workers, truckers, and warehouse staff face layoffs as container flows dry up. Small businesses relying on imports may not survive weeks of delays and soaring costs. American farmers, cut off from Asian markets, risk canceled contracts and falling prices. For many, this disruption could be the final blow after years of hardship. Ultimately, consumers everywhere will pay more for everyday goods. Inflation is set to rise just as economies struggle to recover. The crisis is personal, immediate, and inescapable. The Panama Canal's closure has plunged the world into economic and geopolitical turmoil. What began as a cyber attack has become a global crisis, freezing billions in trade and destabilizing supply chains. The shockwaves are felt from Asian factories to American farms. The crisis exposes the fragility of our interconnected world and the rising threat of digital warfare. Official reassurances can't mask the economic pain or the deepening geopolitical rifts. The world waits, hoping for a resolution, but bracing for lasting change. The illusion of secure, perpetual global transit is shattered. In this new era, the question is clear: can global trade survive in the age of cyber conflict?